A woman who walks alone is not someone who is lonely or abandoned. She is someone who has chosen the path of independence and self-determination. In a world that constantly pressures individuals to conform, to seek approval, and to follow the crowd, she stands tall as a beacon of strength. But make no mistake, this journey is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. It takes profound courage to walk a path where the future is uncertain, where others might doubt you, and where there is no immediate safety net to catch you when you stumble. But this courage does not come from a place of ignorance or blindness to the challenges ahead. It comes from the deep understanding that the price of not walking alone, the price of remaining dependent on others, is far too high. She knows that the price of self-doubt, insecurity, and fear of judgment will keep her trapped in a life that is not her own. And so, she chooses to step forward, to accept full responsibility for the choices she makes. She understands that every decision she makes, every path she walks down, comes with consequences, both good and bad. But rather than shy away from this responsibility, she embraces it. She doesn't wait for others to rescue her or to solve her problems. She takes the reins of her own life and drives it forward with purpose. In this journey, self-awareness becomes her most trusted ally. She knows her worth and understands her limitations. She continuously seeks to better herself, not by comparing herself to others, but by striving to surpass the person she was yesterday. She embraces failure as a lesson and success as a testament to her perseverance. The woman who walks alone is constantly evolving, growing, and expanding her horizons. Resilience is her constant companion. When life knocks her down, she does not stay down. She rises. She understands that pain, loss, and difficulty are inevitable in life, but so too is the strength to rise again. Each hardship she faces is not a reason to give up, but an opportunity to build something stronger within herself. And perhaps most importantly, the woman who walks alone redefines strength. She does not seek to prove her power by dominating others or following the expectations of society. Her strength is measured in her inner calm, her emotional depth, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who she truly is. She knows that strength is not about being invulnerable. It is about having the courage to be vulnerable and still stand firm in your beliefs and values. To walk alone is not to be isolated. It is to be the master of your own destiny. It is to choose a life that is uniquely yours, free from the constraints of others' expectations, and full of the richness that comes from pursuing your own truth. This is the path of greatness, the road less traveled, yes, but one that leads to a life of profound fulfillment and purpose. A woman who walks alone is a woman who has chosen to embrace self-reliance, which is not just a matter of independence, but a commitment to her own power and ability to shape her life. In a world that often emphasizes the need for external validation and societal approval, self-reliance is a radical act, a refusal to let others define your worth or purpose. To walk alone is to reject the notion that you must depend on others to guide you, to affirm your decisions, or to support your emotional well-being. It means trusting in your own judgment, your own strength, and your own capacity to navigate the complexities of life. Self-reliance in this sense is not simply about being physically independent or being able to take care of oneself in practical terms. It runs much deeper. It is about emotional and mental sovereignty, knowing that regardless of the circumstances or challenges you face, you have the inner resources to meet them. It's about recognizing that you don't need anyone else to give you permission to live the life you envision for yourself. It is the recognition that you hold the reins of your own existence and your destiny is shaped by the choices you make, not by the whims of others. But this self-reliance doesn't mean isolation or arrogance. It is not about rejecting relationships or pushing people away, but about ensuring that your sense of self-worth and direction comes from within. A woman who walks alone knows that she must be whole and secure in herself before she can build meaningful connections with others. She understands that true partnership or community cannot thrive if you are not whole to begin with. So she invests in herself, her own growth, her own well-being, and her own dreams before seeking fulfillment from others. Self-reliance also means that she is responsible for her own happiness. She does not wait for someone to make her feel good about herself or to rescue her from life's challenges. She knows that while she may face moments of hardship, she is capable of creating her own joy and peace. She takes ownership of her emotions, her thoughts, and her responses, refusing to give anyone the power to dictate how she feels. This emotional independence is crucial because it empowers her to remain steadfast in her values no matter what the world or others may say or do. It allows her to act in accordance with her principles, to make decisions based on her truth rather than fear of disapproval or rejection. Furthermore, self-reliance does not mean an absence of support or guidance from others. It's important to recognize that even the most self-reliant individuals lean on others in moments of need. However, The key difference is that they do not base their entire sense of security or self-worth on those external sources. They understand that the greatest support they can have comes from within through developing resilience, inner strength, and self-trust. It is a paradox. While self-reliance empowers her to face the world on her own terms, it also teaches her the importance of choosing wisely when to allow others into her life. When a woman walks alone in self-reliance, she radiates an unspoken confidence. It is not a confidence that comes from boasting or seeking validation, but from the quiet certainty that she is enough as she is, that she does not need to prove herself to anyone. This inner confidence becomes a beacon for others, showing that strength lies in owning your own path, regardless of how difficult the journey may be. Self-reliance in this sense is a quiet rebellion against the expectation that women or any individuals must seek constant approval or rely on others to be deemed worthy. It's a declaration that true worth comes from within, and the power to live a life of purpose lies squarely in one's own hands. By embracing self-reliance, a woman who walks alone is not merely surviving, but actively creating the life she desires step by step. She is living proof that independence does not equal loneliness and strength does not require external validation. It is in walking alone that she discovers the depths of her own power, forging a path that is uniquely her own, one that is rich with meaning, fulfillment, and authenticity. Walking alone requires immense courage and internal force that allows a woman to face the unknown, to step into uncertainty, and to trust herself when the path is unclear. Courage in this context is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. It is easy to look at a woman walking alone and mistake her strength for a lack of fear, but the truth is that it is precisely because she acknowledges the fear that she is able to overcome it. Courage is not a trait that is handed to her. It is a muscle she develops by constantly confronting the challenges that life presents. It is the unwavering decision to act in the face of adversity, regardless of how daunting or overwhelming the circumstances may be. To walk alone is to confront those internal demons, the self-doubt, the worries about rejection, and the fear of failure that all humans face. Yet the woman who walks alone does not allow those fears to dictate her actions. She acknowledges them, but she does not give them power over her. She has the courage to take one step forward, even when the way forward is unclear. This courage to face her own vulnerabilities makes her stronger, not weaker, because she knows that embracing her fears is the key to overcoming them. It is in this willingness to face the hardest parts of herself that she finds true strength. Moreover, the courage to walk alone is not just about facing fears related to her own life, but also about embracing the unknown future. When a woman chooses to walk alone, she does not have the luxury of a mapped-out path, the reassurance of a companion, or the certainty of what lies ahead. Life is unpredictable, and the road she chooses may twist and turn in ways she cannot foresee. But it is in this uncertainty that her courage is most evident. She does not shrink back from the unknown. She embraces it, understanding that the journey, no matter how unpredictable, is hers to navigate. She does not wait for circumstances to be perfect before moving forward. She walks because she knows that courage is required to turn uncertainty into opportunity. Additionally, the courage to walk alone is rooted in the acceptance of the inevitability of hardship. It's easy to think of walking alone as a romantic notion full of independence and triumph, but it comes with its own unique set of challenges: emotional, financial, social, and personal. The woman who walks alone is no stranger to struggle, but she does not let those struggles define her. In fact, each challenge she faces becomes a testament to her inner fortitude. It is not the absence of hardship that defines courage, but the strength to keep moving forward despite it. To walk alone is also to face rejection and judgment from others. Those who are used to following the crowd may criticize or question her choices, but a woman who walks alone has the courage to stand firm in her beliefs, even when the world around her seems to be telling her to conform. She does not seek the approval of others because she has already made peace with herself. In fact, the courage to walk alone is often accompanied by the strength to stand alone against the opinions and judgments of others, recognizing that the opinions of others do not determine her worth. The courage to walk alone also means embracing the discomfort of solitude. It's easy to seek companionship when times get tough, to look for others to share the burden of life's challenges. But walking alone often means going through difficult times without the immediate support of others. It's in these moments of solitude that courage is tested and strengthened. The woman who walks alone learns to be her own support system, drawing on her inner resilience to face whatever comes her way. In the end, the courage to walk alone is about trust. Trusting in her ability to handle life's complexities. Trusting that she will find her way even when the path is not clear. Trusting that she is capable of overcoming whatever obstacles lie ahead. It is in this trust that true courage is born, because courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to keep moving forward in spite of it. It's the quiet, relentless pursuit of her goals, knowing that no matter the difficulty, she is strong enough to handle it. A woman who walks alone is someone who accepts full responsibility for her life and acknowledgement that everything she experiences, good or bad, is the result of her own choices and actions. Responsibility, in this sense, is not merely about external outcomes, but about owning the direction of her life, taking charge of her journey, and not blaming others or circumstances for where she finds herself. When a woman chooses to walk alone, she understands that she must navigate the world on her own terms, and with that comes the obligation to make decisions that shape her reality. This commitment to responsibility is empowering. To walk alone means that she cannot defer her agency to anyone else. She is not waiting for someone to give her permission to pursue her dreams or to offer her solutions to her problems. She recognizes that while life will present challenges, her ability to face them and to decide how to respond is entirely in her hands. It means that she must take ownership of her past, present, and future. She has the power to decide what she wants to achieve and what kind of person she wants to become, but with this comes the understanding that her choices have consequences, both positive and negative. A woman who walks alone does not shy away from this responsibility. She faces it head-on, knowing that each decision she makes is a step toward becoming the person she envisions herself to be. This sense of responsibility also extends to her emotional well-being. In a world where it's common to look to others for validation, reassurance, and support, a woman who walks alone does not depend on external factors to maintain her happiness or stability. She takes ownership of her emotions and does not rely on others to define how she should feel. If she experiences setbacks, she takes full responsibility for how she reacts to them. She may allow herself to feel sadness, frustration, or disappointment, but she does not allow these emotions to control her actions. She understands that while she cannot control everything that happens to her, she can control how she chooses to respond to those things. This emotional self-management is a critical aspect of personal responsibility. It is an inner strength that allows her to weather life's storms with dignity and resilience, refusing to let circumstances dictate her state of mind or her future. A woman who walks alone also recognizes the importance of personal growth and self-improvement. She understands that life is an ongoing process of learning and evolving. She takes responsibility for her own development, seeking out opportunities to grow intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. Whether it's through formal education, reading, self-reflection, or seeking new experiences, she actively engages in her own evolution. This commitment to growth is a conscious choice. It means that she doesn't wait for someone else to push her or to tell her what she needs to do. She takes initiative in her own life. She understands that the more she invests in herself, the more she can contribute to the world around her. And when she makes mistakes or faces failure, she does not see it as a reason to give up, but rather as an opportunity to learn and improve. She takes responsibility for her setbacks, learning from them without allowing them to define her or diminish her self-worth. Responsibility also means being honest with oneself. It's about recognizing both strengths and weaknesses without deluding oneself. A woman who walks alone is willing to examine her life and ask herself the hard questions. She is not afraid of looking in the mirror and seeing both the good and the bad. She accepts that there are areas where she can improve and acknowledges her imperfections, but she does not let them define her. Instead, she uses them as motivation to grow stronger and to become more self-aware. This honesty allows her to make better decisions, to understand her own needs, and to be more in tune with the reality of her situation. Moreover, taking responsibility means owning her successes as well. It is easy to attribute achievements to external forces, luck, timing, or help from others, but a woman who walks alone knows that her achievements are the result of her own hard work, dedication, and perseverance. She does not shy away from acknowledging her own effort and strength. By taking full responsibility for her successes, she also builds her self-confidence and creates a foundation for continued success. She understands that self-reliance and responsibility are interconnected. By taking responsibility for her life, she becomes more confident in her ability to shape her future. Ultimately, a woman who walks alone is not running away from life's challenges or looking for an excuse to avoid responsibility. Instead, she chooses to face everything that comes her way with grace, strength, and a deep sense of accountability. She knows that her life, with all its complexities, is hers to own, and that ownership comes with both power and responsibility. In taking full responsibility for her life, she is empowered to shape her future, to grow into the person she wants to be, and to live a life of purpose and meaning. Every choice she makes, every action she takes, is a reflection of her commitment to owning her own story, and in doing so, she becomes the author of her own destiny. A woman who walks alone is a woman deeply aware of herself, her strengths, her weaknesses, her desires, and her limitations. Self-awareness is an essential component of her journey because it empowers her to make informed decisions, to identify areas where she needs growth, and to stay true to her values despite the pressures and distractions of the world. To walk alone is, in many ways, to embark on an ongoing journey of self-exploration and discovery. It's about peeling back the layers of societal expectations, familial roles, and external influences to get to the core of who she really is. Self-awareness begins with a deep understanding of one's own values and priorities. A woman who walks alone has spent time contemplating what matters most to her. She doesn't simply go along with the expectations set by society, nor does she allow others to dictate what she should want out of life. Instead, she knows her worth and she recognizes what aligns with her personal beliefs and goals. Whether it's her career, her relationships, her health, or her passion, she has a clear understanding of what is truly important to her. This clarity helps her make decisions with confidence because she knows exactly where she stands and she doesn't second-guess herself based on the opinions or judgments of others. This self-awareness also extends to her understanding of her strengths. A woman who walks alone has a strong sense of her capabilities. She is aware of the talents and skills that she possesses, and she uses them as tools to navigate the challenges that life presents. She doesn't downplay her achievements or hesitate to recognize her potential. Her strength doesn't come from arrogance, but from an honest acknowledgement of what she can do. Knowing her own abilities empowers her to take on challenges with determination and resilience because she is confident in the tools she has at her disposal. However, this recognition of strength doesn't lead to complacency. Instead, it propels her forward, pushing her to continually refine and expand her capabilities. Equally important is her awareness of her weaknesses and limitations. A woman who walks alone doesn't pretend to be invincible or perfect. She recognizes that she too has flaws and areas in which she can improve. This doesn't diminish her sense of self-worth, rather, it makes her more human, more relatable, and more committed to personal growth. Acknowledging her weaknesses allows her to take the necessary steps to work on them. Whether it's seeking knowledge, acquiring new skills, or seeking help from others when needed, she is not afraid to admit that she doesn't have all the answers. This level of self-awareness enables her to approach life with a sense of humility, knowing that she can always grow and evolve. Furthermore, self-awareness allows a woman who walks alone to set boundaries that protect her well-being. She knows what she is willing to tolerate and what she will not accept. This awareness helps her avoid toxic relationships, situations, or environments that drain her energy or compromise her values. Because she is clear on who she is and what she stands for, she is able to make decisions that align with her sense of self-respect and dignity. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care, and a woman who walks alone knows that she cannot pour from an empty cup. She understands the importance of protecting her mental, emotional, and physical health so that she can continue to move forward with purpose and clarity. Self-awareness also plays a crucial role in understanding one's emotional landscape. A woman who walks alone is not immune to emotional struggles. She experiences moments of doubt, fear, and sadness just like anyone else. However, her self-awareness allows her to understand her emotions without being overwhelmed by them. When difficult emotions arise, she is able to identify their root causes and process them in a healthy way. She doesn't suppress her feelings or ignore them. Instead, she listens to them, allowing them to inform her actions without controlling her. This emotional intelligence helps her maintain balance in her life even when external circumstances are challenging. Moreover, self-awareness fosters a deep sense of self-compassion. A woman who walks alone knows that she is deserving of love and care, both from herself and others. She treats herself with kindness and patience, understanding that she, too, is a work in progress. When she stumbles or makes mistakes, she doesn't berate herself. Instead, she acknowledges her imperfections with grace and learns from them. This compassionate approach to herself allows her to continue moving forward without the weight of guilt or shame holding her back. Ultimately, a woman who walks alone is not just aware of herself in a superficial or surface level way. She has taken the time to deeply understand who she is, both in her strengths and her vulnerabilities. This self-awareness is what allows her to navigate life with purpose, direction, and confidence. She doesn't rely on others to tell her who she should be or what she should want. She has done the work of self-reflection and introspection to know exactly what aligns with her true self. And because of this, she can walk through the world with a sense of inner peace, knowing that she is living authentically true to herself in every moment. A woman who walks alone is not walking in solitude, but rather in a state of profound independence. Independence is a multifaceted trait that extends beyond the ability to take care of oneself physically. It encompasses emotional, intellectual, and financial independence, as well as the autonomy to make decisions free from external pressures. When a woman walks alone, she embraces the responsibility of steering her own life without relying on others for validation, support, or direction. Independence allows her to carve her own path and make choices based on her own values and aspirations rather than conforming to what others expect or want for her. Emotional independence is a critical aspect of this autonomy. A woman who walks alone understands that her emotional well-being is her own responsibility. She does not rely on others to make her feel valued or loved. While she may seek companionship and community, her sense of worth is rooted in herself, not in how others perceive her. This emotional independence enables her to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience, knowing that she is fully capable of managing her feelings and reactions without being overly dependent on others for reassurance or support. When faced with challenges or heartbreak, she turns inward to find the strength and clarity she needs to heal and grow, rather than looking outside of herself for comfort or affirmation. This emotional autonomy also allows a woman to make decisions based on her own needs and desires rather than seeking approval from others. She is able to listen to her inner voice, trusting her intuition to guide her in both her personal and professional life. When she chooses to walk alone, she makes decisions that reflect her own dreams and goals, and she is not swayed by the opinions or judgments of those around her. In doing so, she takes full ownership of her life, knowing that each choice she makes is hers alone to make. This sense of personal agency is liberating. It frees her from the burden of constantly seeking approval from others and enables her to create a life that is authentic to her true self. Intellectual independence is equally important for a woman who walks alone. She does not rely on others to define her beliefs or ideas. Instead, she actively seeks knowledge, challenges assumptions, and develops her own understanding of the world. This intellectual autonomy allows her to approach problems and situations with a critical mind and a sense of personal integrity. She is not afraid to question the status quo or to think for herself, even when it may lead her down a path that is different from the one others have taken. She values her ability to think independently and is confident in her own judgment. In a world that often encourages conformity, this intellectual independence is an act of rebellion, a refusal to let the opinions of others limit her growth and potential. Financial independence is another cornerstone of the woman who walks alone. Financial autonomy is not about having wealth or material success, but about the ability to sustain herself and make decisions that are not influenced by financial dependence on others. Whether she is managing her own finances, pursuing her career goals, or taking control of her own financial destiny, a woman who walks alone understands that her financial stability is an important part of her overall independence. This sense of financial security empowers her to take risks, pursue her passions, and make choices that align with her values without being constrained by financial limitations or relying on someone else for support. The woman who walks alone also understands the importance of independence in her relationships. She does not enter relationships out of necessity or a fear of being alone. Instead, she forms connections with others because she genuinely values them. Her independence allows her to enter relationships from a place of strength, knowing that her happiness and sense of fulfillment do not depend on anyone else. She is able to be a partner, a friend, or a colleague without losing sight of her own identity or compromising her own values. She maintains the freedom to be her true self within her relationships, refusing to let them define or diminish her. Independence does not mean isolation. A woman who walks alone is capable of forming meaningful, authentic connections with others, but she does so from a position of strength and self-sufficiency. She does not rely on others to complete her, rather, she sees relationships as opportunities to share her life with others while maintaining her own sense of autonomy. She understands that true independence is not about being alone or detached, but about having the freedom to choose how and with whom she engages. This kind of independence is empowering because it gives her the ability to design a life that is fully her own, unencumbered by the expectations or limitations imposed by others. The independence of a woman who walks alone is a powerful force. It is not born of arrogance or a desire to reject help, but rather out of a deep understanding of her own worth and capabilities. She has learned that she is more than capable of charting her own course, making her own decisions, and creating the life she wants. Independence for her is not a solitary pursuit, but a way of living fully, confidently, and authentically, knowing that her life is hers to shape. By embracing independence, a woman who walks alone not only empowers herself, but also serves as an inspiration to others, showing that the strength to live on one's own terms is within all of us. A woman who walks alone embodies the power of resilience, the ability to overcome adversity, to bounce back from setbacks, and to persevere even when life challenges her at every turn. Resilience is not simply about surviving hardship, it is about thriving in spite of it, using the difficulties she faces as stepping stones for growth and empowerment. For the woman who walks alone, resilience is not a passive trait, it is an active, dynamic force that drives her to continue her journey, no matter how many obstacles stand in her way. Resilience starts with an unwavering belief in her ability to adapt and overcome. Life does not always go as planned, and the woman who walks alone is keenly aware of this fact. She has encountered disappointment, failure, and pain, but she has learned that setbacks are temporary and that she has the strength to weather even the most challenging storms. This belief in herself allows her to approach difficult situations not with fear or defeatism, but with the confidence that she will find a way through. Whether it's a personal loss, a career challenge, or a sudden change in her life circumstances, she knows that she has the internal resources to adapt and keep moving forward. She does not let adversity break her spirit. Instead, she uses it to fortify her resolve, building mental, emotional, and even physical strength along the way. One of the key components of resilience is the ability to learn from hardship. The woman who walks alone is not one to simply endure difficult times, she seeks out the lessons they offer. She understands that life's challenges are often the greatest teachers, revealing aspects of herself and her circumstances that might otherwise remain hidden. Whether it's discovering her own inner strength, realizing the importance of her values, or learning how to better navigate the complexities of the world around her, each setback becomes an opportunity for growth. Rather than becoming defeated by failure, she treats it as a lesson, using it to refine her approach and adjust her course for the future. Through this mindset, failure becomes a stepping stone, not an obstacle, and each challenge becomes a valuable experience that shapes her into a stronger, more resilient individual. Another aspect of resilience is emotional endurance. A woman who walks alone is not immune to the emotional toll that life's difficulties can impose. She experiences pain, sadness, and frustration, but she does not allow these emotions to consume her. She understands that emotions, while powerful, are fleeting, and she is capable of sitting with discomfort without letting it define her or her future. Emotional endurance is the ability to acknowledge pain without allowing it to paralyze you. It is the courage to feel deeply, but to keep moving forward despite the weight of grief, disappointment, or fear. This endurance is not about suppressing emotions, but about embracing them, understanding their transient nature, and not letting them dictate her actions. Resilience also involves the capacity to remain hopeful in the face of adversity. A woman who walks alone is able to see beyond the current difficulty and maintain hope for a better tomorrow. This hope is not naive or blind optimism, but is grounded in the understanding that challenges are part of the human experience. She knows that the storms will pass and that brighter days are ahead. This hope is the fuel that keeps her moving when the road is rough, reminding her that there is always the potential for change and transformation. When faced with tough situations, she focuses on what she can control and takes proactive steps to create a better. Another vital aspect of resilience is the ability to maintain a sense of purpose even when the path seems unclear. A woman who walks alone may not always know exactly where she is headed, but she remains rooted in her purpose. She has a clear understanding of what drives her, whether it's her passion, her values, or her desire to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. This sense of purpose gives her direction and motivation, especially in times of uncertainty. It is what allows her to continue, even when external circumstances may suggest that she should give up. Her purpose is the anchor that keeps her steady, helping her to focus on what truly matters and to keep moving forward, even when the road is difficult. Resilience is not only about bouncing back from difficulty, but also about building the strength to face future challenges with greater courage and wisdom. Each challenge that a woman faces strengthens her, allowing her to develop coping strategies and emotional intelligence that will serve her in the future. The resilience of a woman who walks alone is built over time through repeated trials, setbacks, and moments of growth. She learns to trust herself more deeply with every challenge she overcomes, becoming increasingly confident in her ability to navigate whatever life throws her way. This accumulated strength makes her unshakable in the face of future adversity, as she knows from experience that she is capable of handling even the most difficult situations. Resilience also involves a deep sense of self-reliance. A woman who walks alone understands that she cannot always depend on others to solve her problems, nor does she seek to place the responsibility for her happiness or success on someone else. She takes ownership of her life, knowing that her resilience comes from within. She does not wait for external circumstances to improve. She takes the necessary steps to improve her own situation, to adapt to changing conditions, and to learn from her experiences. This self-reliance enables her to maintain her power and agency, even in the face of challenges. The resilience of a woman who walks alone is both a quiet and powerful force. It allows her to face adversity head-on, not as a passive victim of circumstances, but as an active participant in her own transformation. Through her resilience, she grows stronger, wiser, and more capable with each challenge, and she continues to walk forward with unwavering determination, no matter the obstacles that stand in her way. A woman who walks alone is not simply navigating the world in solitude. She is a force of strength, independence, self-awareness, and resilience. Her journey is one of continuous growth as she embraces responsibility for her life, faces adversity with unwavering courage, and learns from every challenge that comes her way. Through emotional, intellectual, and financial independence, she builds a life that is authentic to herself, grounded in her values and desires, not in the expectations of others. She is not afraid to take ownership of her choices and her future, constantly striving for self-improvement and mastery over her circumstances. In her pursuit of independence, she becomes more than just a woman walking alone. She becomes an inspiration. She shows us that it is possible to live a life of purpose, to make decisions with confidence, and to weather life's storms with grace and resilience. Her path may not always be easy, but it is always her own. It is a path that she has forged through her own determination, courage, and strength. She teaches us that walking alone is not a sign of weakness, but of incredible power to shape one's own destiny, to rise above challenges, and to live a life that is true to who we are, not what the world expects us to be. A woman who walks alone is a testament to the incredible power of self-reliance and personal strength. She is a living example that true fulfillment comes not from relying on others for validation or support, but from looking within, owning her life, and believing in her ability to shape her future. Her journey is not solitary because she has no one else. It is solitary because she is fully capable of walking it on her own terms. And in doing so, she becomes an inspiration for all of us to take charge of our lives, to walk boldly on our own paths, and to trust that we have the resilience and strength to navigate whatever comes our way.